Alright class, in this lesson you will learn to divide polynomials. So let's go ahead and get started with the first example. So we're going to use long division to divide polynomials, and what we have is the function p of x, which is equal to x cubed plus 5x squared plus 6x plus 9, and what we're going to do is divide x plus 3 into that polynomial. And so the way we're going to do this is very similar to what you learned probably in elementary school with long division. So here's how it works. We're going to take the polynomial p of x, which is x cubed plus 5x squared plus 6x plus 9, and we're going to divide it by x plus 3. Okay, so now the focus of your attention is going to be on this x over here in the divisor and this first term. And the question is, how many, or what do we need to multiply x by to get x cubed? And the answer is x squared. Okay, so now that we have x squared, we're going to multiply x squared by x to get x cubed. And then we're going to multiply x squared by positive 3, and we're going to get positive 3x squared. Okay, now we're going to put this entire expression in parentheses, and we're going to put the subtraction sign like we were taught in elementary school, and now we're going to subtract. Okay, and when we subtract x cubed by x cubed, those cancel out, so that's gone. And then 5x squared minus a positive 3x squared gives me a positive 2x squared. Okay, and then now what I'm going to do is move the remaining terms down over here. So this is going to be plus 6x and then plus 9. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing again. We're going to look at the x term of the divisor and focus on the 2x squared and determine what do we need to multiply this x by to get 2x squared, and the answer is plus 2x. Okay, so now we're going to multiply this 2x by x, and that gives us 2x squared, and then we're going to multiply the 2x by 3, and that gives us positive 6x. We're going to put this in parentheses, and we're going to subtract this entire thing. And what you'll see is 2x squared minus 2x squared is 0, so those cancel out. And 6x minus 6x is 0, because those cancel out. And now we have a remainder of 9. Okay? Since we can no longer divide x plus 3 into 9, that is our remainder, and we're going to say that this is plus 9 over x plus 3. And this is our answer. Now let's take a look at another scenario. Okay, here we have 16x to the fourth minus 85, and we're going to divide it by 4x squared plus 9. Okay, now what's different about this polynomial is we have a degree of 4, and then we go straight to a degree of 0. Okay, so when that happens, we need to write out all of the degrees in between, and here's what I mean. Let's take 16x to the fourth, and now we're going to add 0x to the third, okay, the third degree, plus 0x squared, which is the second degree, plus 0x, which is the first degree, and then we're going to write plus 85. Okay, we're going to divide this entire polynomial by 4x squared plus 9. Okay, so now what we're going to do is what we did in the last example. We're going to focus on the 4x squared in the divisor, and we're going to determine what do we need to multiply this part by to get 16x to the fourth? And the answer is 4x squared. Okay, so now we're going to multiply 4x squared by 4x squared, and that is 16x to the fourth. Then we're going to multiply 4x squared by 9, and that gives us 36x squared. Okay, now I'm going to write it here, 36x squared, because we want the x squared to be below this x squared. Okay, now notice we skipped x cubed because when we multiplied this by the divisor, we didn't get any x cubed. So you may be thinking, well, we didn't really need to write that, but I want to make sure that you make it a habit to write the polynomials out in descending degree order without skipping anything, just in case you end up needing it. Okay, so as we did in the last example, we're going to subtract this entire thing in parentheses. And now we have 16x to the fourth minus 16x to the fourth, which is 0, and those cancel out. Okay, we don't need to do anything with this, and so what we have is 0 minus positive 30x squared. That gives us negative 36x squared. Okay, now we're going to bring down the remaining terms, plus 0x and plus 85. Okay, now we're going to focus in again on this part of the divisor, 4x squared, and determine what we need to multiply this by to get a negative 36x squared. And the answer is minus 9. Okay, so now we're going to multiply negative 9 by 4x squared, and we get a negative 36x squared. Then we're going to multiply negative 9 by a positive 9, and that is going to be a negative 81. We're going to put this in parentheses, and we're going to subtract this whole thing. And now negative 36 minus negative 36x squared is the same thing as negative 36x squared plus 36x squared, which is 0. So those cancel out. We don't need to do anything with this middle term. And so what we have here, what we have left is 85 minus negative 81, which is the same thing as 85 plus 81. And our answer here is 166, which is our remainder. And so we're going to say that that's plus 166 over 4x squared plus 9. Okay, hopefully this made sense. If any of this was confusing, please go back to the beginning of this video and listen to it again.